of last night. There were supposed to be 3 guys going for a rehearing of their sentencing tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in Miami, under the same judge, the vindictive judge, who sentenced them to life sentences. And in 2 of their cases, she's put back the hearing for another 2 weeks, ostensibly because the evidence that the 5 have requested has been declared secret government files, so they won't be able to get access to those. They've also asked for any evaluation that's been done by the CIA or by the US government to see if the 5 had if there was any security risk assessment done on them before they were imprisoned. Our view is that there was no security risk to the United States and there was no security analysis done. So that would undermine the case for them being spies at all, which has always been the case. They were not seeking to undermine US state security in any sense. They were infiltrating terrorist groups, and the only way that the terrorist groups can be considered part of the US state is if the US actually puts its hand up and admits that it funds, organises and trains terrorist groups to attack Cuba. So we're waiting on the day when they actually do put their hands up and say that, but I may not be alive to see it. Just in terms of the 5, we set up Free the Miami 5 campaign in 2002. And we've had some very good success. It's a campaign that's organised to put political pressure on the US government through raising it in the Dáil. Finian is great for raising questions in the Dáil. The minister's heartbroken in terms of the number of questions he puts down. But also we've got very good international access to people in the United States through Irish networks. Mary Robinson is on board the campaign, for example, and has written to the US Supreme Court about the case. And we hope to build on that. We have a lot of international contacts, Irish American contacts that we're in touch with, that are extremely exercised about this case. You'll see the banner here. We've got the Irish Congress of Trade Unions on our side. We've got Unite. We've got SIPTU. So this is a very well established campaign, but it's a very, very difficult case. We've already been to the Birmingham 6 position of an appeal court finding their convictions unsafe. But in the case of the Birmingham 6, they were allowed out. In the case of the Miami 5, they were clamped to jail, and a new appeal court was impaneled to find them guilty. So we're talking about a very political situation here, a very political case. And when they get out, because I have no doubts they will get out, but when they get out, the house of cards that will come tumbling down on top of the US government over the case will be global. It will be the biggest thing to hit the United States when they do come out. So that's my speak. I'd like to make sure that everybody here is on our email list. A lot of people get referral emails, so they don't get them all. So even if you're on the list, it would be good to put your name down again so we can make sure that we've got the correct address. We're getting a lot of bounces too, where people change email holders and they don't let us know. So if you can give us your email address, we keep you up to date with the campaign and what's happening in the world of the Miami 5. So Finian McGrath.
Thank you very much, Simon. Just first of all, comrades, friends, I'm delighted to be here. I want to say I commend and thank Simon and Eleanor and all the people directly involved in the Free Miami 5 committee for their great work over the last number of years. My own direct involvement goes back to the time that Eleanor Lanigan and Simon raised the issue with me, and I saw it as a blatant miscarriage of justice, and it was from then that I started to fight and push the issue in the Dáil. But I also had the honour and privilege of 3 years ago of visiting Cuba, and while in Havana I met the families of the Miami 5, and I was really impressed by their bravery, by their integrity. And just as I arrived here tonight, I saw the poster there. When you go to Havana and go all over Cuba, you'll see a very similar poster in all the bars and clubs, and they're treated like national heroes there. Well, they are national heroes, but there's a massive campaign there in Cuba itself, and particularly in Havana, for the Miami 5. Then when I returned home, as Simon said, I raised it many times in the Dáil. We adjournment debates on the issue, and I raised it with successive ministers for foreign affairs, and I will continue to do so again next week in the Chamber, because I think it's very important that we in Ireland push their case, because they are national heroes and they are people who we feel are very close to, and also because of our history and because of our anti-imperialist history, I think it's very important that we link up and work very closely with the Cuban people in Ireland and also in Cuba itself. In relation to the five themselves, Gerardo, Antonio, Raymond, Fernando and Rene, as I said before, I met their mothers and wives and brothers and sisters, and it was a very emotional meeting. And at that meeting, which lasted about 2 hours, I gave a commitment that when I came back to Ireland I would push their case. So I'm here tonight to push their case. The last time I was here on a protest, we had a number of photographs of a number of high-profile people standing behind kind of bars, makeshift bars, just to highlight the issue. And one of the people that sadly was with me that night was the late Tony Gregory. Tony was a very big, strong supporter of the Miami Five. I'd like to pay tribute to him here tonight as well, because he was a massive support in the Dáil and elsewhere. And I was delighted earlier on to see that Maureen, Deputy Maureen O'Sullivan, had been here along with Chris Andrews. In relation to the campaign itself, I would urge everybody tonight to campaign for the release of the five, the victims of an obvious miscarriage of justice. I'd also like to dedicate these few words and also campaign to the over 2,700 people that died at the hands of right-wing extremists in Cuba and in other parts of the world. It's an absolute war crime that none of these issues have been tackled internationally. And today in Belfast and in Dublin yesterday, we had Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in town. And I would like to campaign and lobby Hillary Clinton and the rest of them who talk about human rights in Ireland and in America, but are very silent in relation to human rights when it comes to the Miami Five. This is a blatant miscarriage of justice. These people need our support, and once again I want to thank you for coming along tonight, and I wish you well in the campaign. Thank you very much.